Hello guys, my name is Jonas, and in this episode of Higher Economics, we will focus on creative approach on LinkedIn. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Higher Economics. In today's episode, we're going to talk about creative approach on LinkedIn. This will be mainly about examples of what kind of approach I am using. So yeah, let's get to the examples. So first of all, we have this. As you can see, I use poems as an approach on LinkedIn. This is a simple roses are red, violets are blue form. And you can see that candidates themselves write me their own versions of these poems. Danny here wrote, my name is Danny, I work in IT, interesting chances, please send them to me. Which was one of the first messages that I got, and it was more than a year ago, and it really motivated me to use this kind of approach even in the future. This is a similar response that I got on the same type of message, the roses are red, violets are blue. But this would be from a candidate that actually did not want to change their job, and she wanted to stay in a new position. But even though she was not interested, she actually wrote me a message and a poem. So I think that's really shows that candidates are attracted to these kinds of messages. Here we have a form that I use for approaching candidates that are abroad. This is a bit of an upgraded version. I use the country which they live in and ask if they are bound there, as you can see. And yeah, it's sort of different. It's a bit longer. And even though I wrote there that you don't need to respond with a poem, actually some candidates did. And this is how it ended up. The prettiest city I have ever seen is Prague, where I'd like to stay in. Happy to hear what you propose. Maybe I move then, God only knows. So that was really a good response I got. Even though it did not result in a placement, it was a really great communication with the candidate. We actually wrote a couple of other poems to each other, and then at one point we had to stop because it would be a never-ending process, and the amount of time that we put in just to message with each other was too big. So this was a really good one. So next here, this is the same sort of message that I sent to the candidate before, but this would be to the candidate called Tom. And Tom wrote me one of the best poems I ever got. Hi Jonas, it's my first time to be a name of a guy who on poems built his fame. I'll answer the question that came to your brain. Breaking a bond would not be a pain. That, however, depends on a thing or two. How good is the offer and what would I do? Leaving the country for a worse state would be a shame. Wise man would ask, how big is the salary gain? The very last thing that comes to my mind, with this into I wander like a blind. I hope it's not a loss, please tell me who'd be my boss. This was really amazing for me to see that I write a simple message and someone actually puts an effort to write to someone who is sourcing from Czech Republic, although they are in Poland, and spend so much time with it. So that was really good. Here, this is a new version that I use, where I actually use the candidate's name. I think that it's more personal, that it's not just roses are red, violets are blue, but it's more personal. I use the name, and I also mention what kinds of skills I'm looking for. So yeah, you can read this one. And I used this one actually for a candidate called Svetlana, who was in Czech Republic actually. And although she did not respond with a poem, in the end it resulted in a placement. So I just wanted to put it up here that we had a really great conversation, and yeah, we still communicate with each other. These are just some types of responses that I get from candidates, some like poems as well, so I just wanted to put them here as well. Have a nice day, but hurry, don't delay. This is another one, actually a negative response, but also in a poem form. So I really think that it's good for your response rate, that like people actually spend time on replying to you when they see that you approach them by a poem. And here I just wanted to mention that I've been approached by some people that like wanted to use my form of poems or use them, and they just like acknowledged the fact that they used a similar form and that they like thought of me as a sort of muse. So I'm really happy that some people are really using poems in recruitment now. But I think that, yeah, you should do it on your own. You should come up with your own creative ideas, so candidates are not flooded with poems that are just like roses are red and violets are blue. So that's been all with today's HIRECONOMICS session. I hope you will use some of these like tips and tricks to maybe like try and write your poems on LinkedIn. And yeah, I hope it will work for you. Have a nice day. Bye.